Hello and welcome to your shipper update. I'm Mike Vincent. He's Anthony Smith, and he's going to tell us everything that's going on. We're going to be so brilliant by the end of this, it's not even going to be funny.
Yeah, I mean, after this segment, you're pretty much done for, if you're in college, you're done, get your diploma.
Yeah, right?
Just here in high school, go to the next level.
Check the
Skip
box.
college, go start your career.
Whatever it is,
Essentially.
PhD, you've got it.
You're done.
You're
So,
done.
what we're looking at, talking about PhD, we have a brilliant set of PhDs that put together this index here. This is
that's right.
the Logistics Managers Index, a bunch of brilliant people. Thank you to Dr. Zach Rogers and his crew there at Colorado State, ASU, University of Reno, Nevada, Rochester Institute of Technology, Rutgers, a whole bunch of people come together, put this index together. And what it is similar to the PMI, wherein anything over 50 is indicative of expansion, while anything below 50 is indicative of contraction. So it's a diffusion index, survey-based index. And so this is going to be based around specifically the logistics industry. And looking at this, we have a few of the breakouts for warehousing. And we're going to start with this one, and this is going to be warehousing capacity. And so far, what we've seen for warehousing capacity is that it had a 41 percentage point reading. And so this was a slight increase from the previous month, but it's still showing decline because it's within or below that 50 percentage point reading. And so looking at this, the expectation, because they also do a future expectation index as well, that people are expecting this to increase to 55. So they're expecting some increase, some moderate improvements over the next 12 months, a year from now. So that's going to be one of the areas that we're going to watch closely is they're going to indeed be increasing warehousing capacity.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Is it lack of thereof, or is it what it sounds like? Okay, gotcha.
So
an increase in capacity is what they're thinking is happening.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
That
That's
hopefully there's going to be some increase in capacity. But all this is, of course, because of inventory levels. And
it's also because of the spur in production, right?
Exactly.
I mean, they're producing more warehouse space, right?
Producing more, but I'm talking about the current situation now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Inventory levels are so high, and so each incremental piece of inventory is skyrocketing. We're going to talk about this a little bit later.
Okay, good. Prices.
And so in our next chart here, we're going to look at another part of warehousing, and that's going to be warehousing utilization. And so we have there is showing a 70.5 percentage point reading. And what we're looking at warehousing utilization is showing that there is increase. It kind of leads to that previous point you were talking about. They're building out so many warehouses.
Right.
These are getting utilized more and more and more. So the utilization space is increasing. Even though we saw a slightly downward movement of just about 5 percentage points, it's still very high, still over 50.
So there's 70.
70, and so nearly identical. So we're looking at 12 months from now, nearly identical, 75.4, nearly identical to what we see now for our future expectations. So showing that there is still a lot of utilization going on, and that utilization isn't going to go down anytime soon.
Yeah, so even though we saw a slight, you saw the 55 for capacity being available, right? The utilization thereof is really high too. So the demand moving forward for the foreseeable future for warehousing is high.
Exactly. And in our next chart here, I think this is really what drives it home. 87, really 88 percentage point reading for warehousing prices. And this is indeed, let me check, yes, an all-time high for the LMI price index.
It really is since 2017 at least.
Yeah. And so we're looking at this. Essentially, the expectations is that this is going to remain high. This is going to stay high, well within the 80s, I believe, for future expectations. So a lot of those logistics managers are expecting this to remain very high. And it just goes back to that previous point of each incremental capacity that gets taken up, that price just skyrockets ever so slightly. It keeps going higher. And Zach Rogers had a great analogy for what's going on overall within the logistics space. He kind of related it to sleep. If you fall asleep and wake up early, you have a bad night of sleep one night, you can make it through the day. If you have a restless night of sleep 2 days in a row, okay, you kind of struggle through. But if you're a week in and you haven't had any sleep, cracks are going to show. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now within the logistics industry. Cracks are showing indeed. And so we're seeing with warehousing prices, we're seeing with incoming peak season that I'm sure you can talk to, there's just hysteria going on right now.
There is,
a lot of momentum. It's like a stream moving, but there's the current underneath is just going absolutely insane.
It's going insane, and it's interesting because how this all plays out moving forward is how we temper our reaction.
Exactly.
Right? Do we overbuild capacity, or do we not build enough, or how does that work? And we're seeing all that stuff play out right now. Absolutely amazing. Excellent. Thank you so much, Anthony.